But first, brand new questions about the handling of the Russia probe. The Justice Department releasing a long-awaited memo, one that reveals the scope of the Mueller investigation was much broader than originally thought. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sandra Smith.
And a very pleasant good morning to you, Sandra. I'm Ed Henry. That memo sent to Mueller back in August 2017. It authorized investigations into key members of the Trump team. This as explosive new transcripts from the probe clear the Trump campaign of collusion with Russia.
Louisiana Senator John Kennedy, member of the Judiciary, Banking, and Budget Committees, joins us now. Senator Kennedy, good morning to you. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right, a lot to get to this morning. I'll first ask you about this long-awaited release, a less redacted version of this memo. What have you been able to conclude about the scope of the Mueller investigation from what was originally known?
Well, let me talk about the scope memo first, and then I'd like to talk about the revelations regarding Chairman Schiff. I wasn't as surprised by the scope memo. I think based on what I observed and what the American people observed throughout the Mueller investigation, it always appeared that they were just after a scalp. And I don't mean any disrespect to Mr. Mueller. I understand he's a fine person. I've not met him, but when he testified before Congress, I think it became clear to many that Mr. Mueller was not in charge day to day of his investigation. His team that he put together was, and they were after a scalp. In terms of our Chairman Schiff, it's just terrible. I mean, what they just revealed about him is third world country stuff. I mean, his investigators called 53 witnesses in secret. Not a single one of them said there was any collusion. In fact, they all said we don't have any evidence of collusion. It was all done in secret. Chairman Schiff knew it. He read the transcripts, and he walked out in front of God and country and the American people and said, I have direct evidence of collusion. Now, you know, if you and I lie to Congress, it's perjury. If Congress lies to us, it's politics. That's third world country stuff. And the whole time, Chairman Schiff is lecturing all of us about the rule of law. And he's lying to the American people. You know, an ounce of hypocrisy is worth a pound of ambition. There's an old saying. I don't know who said it, but she was a smart person. And the real issue to me, guys, what are we going to do about it? You know, this is on top of the Carter Page stuff, everything else we've heard, the General Flynn stuff, and Congress hadn't done anything. All we've done is strut around and talk and issue press releases. I mean, I hope, Lindsey, we proved yesterday that we can hold safe hearings where we're apart and people can participate by Zoom if they want to. We need to start hearings now. Like yesterday. That's my opinion. Anyway.
So let me ask you more about that in just a moment. But first, just to give everyone an idea of some of the words that were revealed in that less redacted memo. This was the Rod Rosenstein memo dated August 2nd, 2017. As it pertains to the scope of the Russia probe, Senator Kennedy, any links and or coordination between the Russian government and individuals associated with the campaign of President Donald Trump, and two, any matters that arose or may arise directly from that investigation. This was just some of what was revealed that shows that the scope went much broader than you or I or members of Congress or the American public initially knew. Fox News is being told by a senior administration official, Senator Kennedy, that, to your point, Adam Schiff is, quote, in panic mode. And of course, you remember going back to his past statements that there was, quote, direct evidence of collusion. I hear you calling on your own colleagues, asking the question, what are we going to do about it? So
Yeah.
what are
Yeah.
you going to do about it, Senator Kennedy?
Well, first of all, we need to call all these people and put them under oath. Let me go back on the memo, on Rosenstein's memo. Look, the way I read that memo, it basically said, go find me something. Get me a scalp. It became clear to me throughout the entire investigation that that's what Mr. Mueller's team was doing. Once again, I don't know whether Mr. Mueller was all that involved. But in terms of what Adam did, Congressman Schiff, I mean, that's just it's third world country stuff, you know, to gather evidence from 53 witnesses. I mean, that they deposed in secret, under oath. They said, nope, there's nothing there. And he goes out and said, I have direct evidence. Now, that's not right. Disagreement is fine in a democracy. But this isn't disagreement. This is persecution. These weren't investigations. They weren't prosecutions. They were persecutions. And, I mean, where's the FBI? Where's the Department of Justice on this? I mean, Bill Barr's been the person who's been most active. But the hits just keep on coming here, and and nothing gets done. It's apparently it's easier to divorce your spouse up here than to fire somebody, and nobody gets fired or anything.
Well, I know the American people have big questions about all of that,
Yeah,
and particularly
they should.
how those responsible will be held accountable. I want to transition, though, what's happening in your state of Louisiana. We know this was hard hit during the pandemic. Some of the details of your bill on state aid, Senator Kennedy, giving states flexibility on funding when it comes to the CARE Act. I'll throw the details up on the screen. But how is your state doing, and how are you responding to get the state at a local level out of this, Senator Kennedy?
Well, things are better in Louisiana. Our governor has postponed our opening of our economy, and I think he, in many respects, he forgot to get the people's compliance. I'm not sure Governor Edwards can hold them until May 15th, which is the next date he's going to consider. But in terms of your question about the money, look, there are all kind of bills flying around here. It's like a Labor Day mattress sale. One group wants to give the states $500 billion, and Speaker Pelosi wants to give them $1 trillion. We've already spent $3 trillion, and we don't even have 5% of that. Part of the CARES Act, we gave a huge amount of money to state and local government already. We just put restrictions on what they could spend it on. I've got a bill that I think will pass if Senator McConnell will let it come to the floor. It says, look, we're going to take off some of the restrictions on the money we've already given to the states and local governments. They can't use it to go bail out their pension plans, but they can use it to fill gaps in their budget. The money's already appropriated. It's going to them. It's not new money. My state, for example, has gotten money for state and local government, for higher education, for public schools, for hospitals, extra Medicaid money. It's like $2.5–3 billion. And the only complaint I hear primarily from my state is that we're limited in what we can spend it on. And I'm going to try to give them the flexibility before we start spending another $1 trillion like the Speaker wants to.
Keep us posted on that, Senator Kennedy, as we watch your state and other states climb out of this and see all those folks get back to work. Senator Kennedy, appreciate your time this morning. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Sandra.